Elon Community Garden started in 2006, and it was a senior thesis project, actually, from one of my advisees. Originally it was about an eighth of the size it is now, and we had no long-range plan for it. Fortunately, her boyfriend was a year younger than she was, and when she graduated, she charged him with taking care of it for the next year. So I had a dedicated garden person for the following year, and I informed him how important it was for the longevity of the garden to train somebody to follow in his footsteps. And he did. A young woman who was a sophomore, and she took care of the garden for the next 2 years. And about that time I realized if we were ever going to grow, expand, or have any long-term sustainability plan, we needed to bring it under the wing of some sort of aspect of the university, so it would have a budget, because I was funding it all out of pocket at that point. So I started this class.
So originally I decided to take this class because it fulfilled a requirement that I needed. But then I realized that it didn't actually fulfill the requirement I needed. So I had already invested in the class and I was going to stay whether I liked it or not. But I also invested in just the people.
You learn something different every time you're in the garden, which I think is something really special, and you learn as you observe, which you typically don't really get to do otherwise.
I like gardening because I can come here whenever I have free time, or if I'm really stressed and pent up with tension in my own life, and I can weed the garden, and that always just is cleansing for me. I don't know why. It just makes me feel like I've accomplished something, because you watch the ground clean up because you've done the work. So
I grew up in a family of farmers and gardeners and learned to garden from my grandmother. Some of the plants we have here in the garden, like the multiplier onions and the Tucker sweet banana peppers, are plants that I originally got from her mother, my great-grandmother. And they're still going strong in the garden. It's a long tradition here. Every spring we have a strawberry festival where we sell heirloom plants that are native to North Carolina, and some that aren't, but we're trying to spread the word about them. And every fall we have a pumpkin festival. Both of these events are designed to raise awareness of the garden around campus and to reach out also into the community. We've been doing that long enough now that people from the Elon community come and buy plants from us every year, and then sometimes come back and share seeds with us.
So we've done all these crazy things, from just realizing that our plots are overgrowing, we need to majorly trim them down, or bonding moment over aphids and trying to squish them all, or trying to move the water Buddha statue and accidentally spilling it over half of us. We're all just the community of people hanging out and having fun and learning together in a very hands-on environment. It's been really awesome. Just growing my own food, even though I never really had time to cook it, was fun because I could always just plant it and see what happened, and it happened so fast. I don't know if it's just because the college experience itself is fast, or just something's up with this garden that everything grows super fast, but everything happened faster than I remembered it happening when I was a child. The whole experience was super cool, and so that's why I took it again this semester, because I loved the whole community and just being able to be in the earth.
This is Rudy. He's our garden mascot. He loves the vegetables almost as much as we do. And I'm gonna miss him a lot.
Anything to say, Rudy?
I'm here because I live for the dirt. Dirt gives me life, and I have to have my hands in the dirt. And living on campus, it can feel kind of like a concrete jungle, and this is a place of respite that I come to.
The garden's kind of my home at Elon. It's really the only place that I feel like I truly belong here, and so it's definitely I don't know, similar in the place that it kind of is refueling to be here and grounding to be here, and I think there's sort of more peace with food. It brings me more peace with food when I grow my own food.
When I think of Elon, I think of the community garden and all the people that it's brought me to, and the people who I'll continue to think of.
I hope that when I leave Elon, the garden is still healthy, and that I will have been able to do what I have always told my students they need to do, which is train younger folks behind them to take on the garden as a mission. And that sense of devotion is something that's really important to the garden. I tell students that once they've been a part of the garden, they've taken the classes and interned and come to the meetings and the festivals and whatnot, been a member of the club, but once you're part of the family, you're always a part of the family. And every year students come back to visit. Sometimes they've been gone 4 and 5 years. 2 years ago at an alumni day, the student who was the founder of the garden, the student whose thesis project this became, came by to visit. And with her was her husband, who was the boyfriend who kept it alive for the year after she graduated. That was a really nice feeling for me to see that continuity of brand new students working in the garden with the 2 students who helped start it and keep it going in that first year. So I just hope that when I leave Elon, it'll still be strong and I can come back to visit too.
They say, teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man, let me start that over. They say, give a man a fish, and you'll feed him for a day. Hold for airplane. Oh, I think they just dropped, oh, that's a bug. Cool. You know, they say, give a man a fish, and you'll feed him for a lifetime. Teach a man to one more time, sorry. They say, give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. If you teach a man how to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. But I would add, teach someone how to garden and they'll be fed for a lifetime without, having to fish.